The initial conception of Captain Zero really came from a depressive episode that I almost lost. This was 2015. I had just moved to Orlando, had been living in Florida my entire life, just moved to Orlando for college. I went to college at Full Sail University. This was maybe 3 months in, and I fell into one of the worst depressive episodes I'd had at the time. A year prior, I was diagnosed with major depressive disorder. And again, there was no one in my immediate circle, no friends, no family members that even knew where to start the conversation about my mental health. Also growing up, like being Caribbean, both my parents Haitian, it was like, you're sad. What is that? Why? I don't understand.
Yeah.
So when I had, that really, really bad depressive episode, it felt like it was just like a compounding things that were happening. It was, moving away in this new place, venturing out, still trying to figure out who I am as a person. That was like the first time I got like my nose pierced. Like there were just so many, all these new things that were happening. And a lot of it was just like scary and challenging at the time. And I fell into a really, really bad depressive episode. And I remember I was like in my living room, I was bawling my eyes out, I was like in the fetal position. And I remember when I got up off the ground, I remember to the table to the left of me, there was a stack of paper and a pencil. And then I remember in my bathroom, there were a bunch of razor blades because I, cut my own hair. And I remember thinking to myself in that moment, like, I have two options. It literally felt like a fork in the road. I could go down this path. That's maybe something that's constructive, or I could go out of this other path, something that's destructive. And ultimately, the more I sat with myself and the things that I was feeling, I realized more than anything, what I felt was voiceless. I felt like, again, there was just no one that understood me, and I wanted so desperately to be understood. So I decided to take, the pencil and the paper and instead try to transmute what it was that I was feeling into something that could be tangible. So the initial conception of Captain Zero was really just supposed to be about my senior year in high school, being diagnosed with major depressive disorder and navigating that as like, a black mask person. That was the basis of what the show was supposed to be about. But then throughout like that night, again, I just started thinking about all of my, other influences, things that I loved, superheroes, comic books, all those kinds of things. And I was like, wait, what if I made like this narrative about like this superhero that was dealing with depression? Because that was something, again, I had never seen before. And I thought about what an interesting concept that would be. And then, yeah, within a few hours, I had drawn the very first image of Captain Zero.
Wow.
And I came up with that name, Captain Zero, because again, I just thought it would be such a great juxtaposition, like Captain being this, name of a high ranking military officer, but Zero meaning nothing and nobody. So it's like you're the captain of the nothings, of the nobodies.
Mm.
So that was, where the initial conception of the show came about.
Wow. Like, and that's incredible that I don't know what it was about you connecting depression and mental health and sort of the struggle that we've had as Black people
Hmm.
to be in environments that could help us understand and access these things. It just seems so wild that you revealed the weight
Hmm.
that so many of us are under with Black excellence.
Yeah.
This thing that weighs us down that we're trying to live up to when we find out that Black excellence is a scam because
Yeah.
there's so much white mediocrity out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But so many times myself, I come from a lineage of people who have done amazing things because they had to,
Yeah.
because they had to.
Hmm.
But when you said there's a line that sticks out to me in this whole series, you know what line I'm talking
I know
about.
the line.
What's the line?
Who's going to save me when I need saving?
Who's going to save me when I need saving? Do you know? For some reason, I thought I had some unlimited supply of privilege because I was pretty. I thought the pretty would take me to the bank or something. I don't know. But like, I thought I had all this privilege. And so I was ignoring my own needs so much and just pouring into, just serving community and doing the things and what have you. And then time after a while, I started chipping away at my own sort of like, I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
Um, we're dealing with this for so long and seeing change and then a pushback.
Mm.
And then I also suffer the consequences of being the one who steps out there and then gets beat down and have my livelihood taken from me and certain
Yeah.
things and what have you. And all of a sudden I find myself in need.
Yeah.
I find myself in need of community, of support, of all these things, and looked up and had to ask myself the same question: who's going to save me when I need saving? But for me, that answer was community.
Mm.
Because the reality is, I have been in community for so long with people.
Mm.
And so, community pretty much was begging me at this point, let us show up for you.
Mm.
You shown up for community in all these different ways. Please let me show up for you. And I had to break myself down to be able to accept the support and the help. Sometimes we got to feel like we can do it all ourselves. And so, coming onto this project, you saw it was an immediate yes from me.
Yeah.